What if I told you that the key to your inner peace lies not in meditation apps, breathing exercises, or weekend retreats, but in something you've been actively avoiding your entire life? You've tried everything, haven't you? The morning routines that promise serenity, the mindfulness practices that leave you more frustrated than calm, the gratitude journals that feel forced and hollow. You've downloaded apps that guide you through 20 minutes of peace, only to find your mind racing again before you've even opened your eyes. You've read books about finding stillness, attended workshops on letting go, maybe even carved out sacred spaces in your home where tranquility is supposed to magically appear. And yet here you are, still searching, still struggling, still feeling like peace is something that happens to other people, but somehow eludes you. Inner peace isn't just a spiritual luxury or a nice-to-have addition to your wellness routine. It's the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. Without it, success feels hollow, relationships feel strained, and even your victories carry an undertone of anxiety about when the other shoe will drop. Inner peace is what allows you to move through the world without constantly bracing for impact to experience joy, without waiting for it to be taken away to rest, without your mind immediately filling the silence with a to-do list. But here's what most people don't understand about inner peace. It's not something you achieve or acquire. It's not a destination you reach after completing enough self-help homework. It's something you already possess that's been buried under layers of resistance, performance, and the exhausting effort to be anyone other than who you actually are. The reason you're struggling isn't because you haven't found the right technique. It's not because you're not disciplined enough, not spiritual enough, not evolved enough. The reason you're struggling is because you're trying to find peace while simultaneously waging war against yourself. Think about it. How can you expect to find inner peace when you spend most of your mental energy rejecting, judging, and trying to fix parts of yourself? How can stillness emerge when you're constantly in motion, running from emotions you deem unacceptable, thoughts you consider wrong, aspects of your personality you've labeled as flawed? We live in a culture that has convinced us that inner peace comes through optimization. That if we just meditate longer, think more positively, practice more gratitude, eliminate more stress from our lives, we'll finally arrive at that coveted state of serenity. But this approach treats peace like a reward for good behavior, rather than recognizing it as your natural state when you stop fighting with reality. The struggles you face in finding peace aren't random obstacles. They're symptoms of a deeper issue. The racing mind that won't quiet during meditation? It's often the sound of thoughts you've been trying not to think. The restlessness that emerges whenever you try to be still. It might be emotions you've been avoiding finally asking for your attention. The constant need to be productive, to be improving, to be somewhere other than where you are. This is the manifestation of a fundamental belief that who you are right now isn't acceptable. We're surrounded by external pressures that reinforce this internal war. Social media shows us curated versions of peace, perfectly arranged meditation corners, inspirational quotes over sunset backgrounds, people who seem to have figured out the secret to effortless tranquility. We compare our inner chaos to their outer presentation and conclude that we're doing something wrong. Society tells us that peace comes through achievement, through finally getting your life together, through eliminating all sources of stress and discomfort. We're told to optimize our environments, our relationships, our thoughts, our very existence, until everything is perfectly aligned for peace to finally be possible. Technology amplifies this struggle by fragmenting our attention and creating an addiction to stimulation that makes stillness feel uncomfortable, even threatening. We've become so accustomed to the constant input of information, entertainment, and distraction that the absence of these things feels like emptiness rather than peace. But here's what all of these external factors are pointing to, what they're all symptoms of: a fundamental lack of self-acceptance. Not the surface-level, affirmation-based acceptance that we try to talk ourselves into, but the deep, bone-level acceptance of what is, including the parts of yourself that you've spent years trying to change, fix, or transcend. The reason you can't find inner peace is because you're looking for it everywhere except in the one place where it actually lives. In complete, unconditional acceptance of yourself as you are right now. Not as you could be, not as you should be, not as you will be once you've completed your personal development journey, but as you are in this moment, with all your flaws, fears, inconsistencies, and unresolved issues. This is the insight that changes everything. Inner peace isn't the absence of internal conflict, it's the presence of self-acceptance in the midst of that conflict. It's not about eliminating your difficult emotions, anxious thoughts, or imperfect qualities. It's about creating enough inner space to hold all of these aspects of your humanity without needing to fix, change, or transcend them. When you stop trying to be different than you are, something miraculous happens. The energy you were using to resist yourself becomes available for presence. The mental resources you were spending on self-improvement projects can be redirected toward actually experiencing your life. The constant background tension of trying to become someone else dissolves, and what remains is simply what is, and what is, when it's not being fought against, is peaceful. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on growth. It means recognizing that true growth happens from a foundation of acceptance, not rejection. It means understanding that you can want to change things about your life without making your current state of being wrong. It means discovering that peace isn't something you have to earn through spiritual achievement. It's something you uncover by stopping the war against yourself. The meditation that doesn't quiet your mind. Practice accepting the noise, the emotions that feel too big or too uncomfortable. Practice making space for them without immediately trying to process, heal, or understand them. The aspects of your personality that you wish were different, practice greeting them like old friends rather than treating them like enemies. Self-acceptance isn't a one-time decision. It's a moment-by-moment choice to stop abandoning yourself in favor of who you think you should be. It's the radical act of being on your own side, even when you're messy, confused, scared, or imperfect. It's the recognition that you don't have to earn your own love and acceptance through good behavior or spiritual progress. When you truly accept yourself, not as a strategy to feel better or as a step toward becoming someone else, but as an act of basic human kindness toward the person you actually are, peace stops being something you seek and becomes something you simply are. Not because you've transcended your humanness, but because you've finally embraced it. The journey toward inner peace isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming deeply, authentically yourself and discovering that this self, exactly as it is, has always been worthy of peace, love, and acceptance. Your inner peace isn't missing, it's just been obscured by the tremendous effort you've been putting into being someone else. Stop trying to find it and start allowing it. Stop seeking it and start being it. The peace you're looking for isn't waiting at the end of your self-improvement journey. It's available right now, in this moment, as soon as you stop requiring yourself to be different in order to deserve it. What would change in your life if you truly accepted yourself as you are right now? What would become possible if you stopped fighting the war against yourself and started living from a place of inner peace instead of constantly searching for it? The answer might surprise you, and it might just transform everything.